Hey everyone, welcome to the Hopcast.
Thanks for coming back as always.
I'm Brad Chmielewski.
My name is Ken Hunnemeder. We've got a couple special guests.
Oh. Want to introduce yourself?
Sure. My name's Sarah Huska.
And I'm Shaun O'Sullivan. I'm the brewmaster and co-owner of the 21st Amendment in San Francisco.
Yes.
Hold on a second. I want to Twitter this moment.
Live Twitter.
Okay,
camera.
there you go. Okay, go ahead.
Yeah, so Shaun has come all the way across the country from San Francisco.
I've traveled far.
And he wasn't coming here for us, but we grabbed him. So he's here from 21st Amendment. You guys are fairly new to the business. Is that correct? How long?
Yeah, we've been we're a brew pub in San Francisco. We've been
Right.
there about 9 years, and we just got into this into the canned craft beer movement.
Right.
We've drank the Kool-Aid. We saw the future. It comes in a 12-ounce can, aluminum can, and we went from one state last year to 16 states this year.
And you have two cans right now?
Two different flavors. We've got our Hell or High Watermelon Wheat Beer, which is a American-style wheat beer that we brew with fresh watermelon juice. It's the real deal. There's nothing fake about it.
Right.
And then we have another one called Brew Free or Die IPA, which is a West Coast style IPA, which means you guys out here in Chicago that there's a lot of hops in it.
Oh, we
A
can
lot
take
of
it.
hops. You guys, I don't know about it.
This is
I didn't
the
bring any
Hopcast.
today.
This is the Hopcast, so we can take it.
All right. Trusting you. And it's about 75 IBUs, 7% alcohol. So it's big. And they come in cans and they're on draft. So.
The big news that we've been hearing out here in the Midwest, especially with that new IPA, is that you can now get them on Virgin Atlantic flights.
Virgin America, actually, which is the domestic
Virgin
one.
American
yeah.
flights.
Okay.
Exactly. It just happened
That's awesome.
last
Wow.
week. Huge. I've been working on it for 9 months now, actually, and it's I can't believe it happened. I mean, it all started on Twitter. Speaking of Twitter, it's a great story.
Everything happens on Twitter.
It's actually kind of cool. I love Virgin. I was on it. I'm a Twitter freak as well as everybody I think at this table. Let's just come clean, everybody. We'll have a moment. And I basically Twittered about my Virgin America experience, which I thought was great. And then they followed me back, if you know anything about Twitter. And then I direct messaged them. This is getting more geeky, dorky, geeky. And I ended up. I asked them, hey, what's the deal? You've only got Heineken and Miller Lite on your planes, but you have absinthe and you have all this great food and you have this great, in-flight customer experience. And I was like, why don't I have a small craft brewery in San Francisco? And I've got cans that'd be great on your plane. So I got a meeting with the guy in charge of in-flight, and he actually is a fan of the 21st Amendment. He lives in San Francisco.
Oh, wow.
He's
Perfect.
a couple blocks away lives a couple blocks away. Had the beers, we had a meeting, went down, met them down at the airport, which isn't that far away, and then 9 months later, we're 35,000 feet and drinking beer. So
That's
it's
fantastic.
a lot of fun, actually. Yeah.
I mean, there's something that all of us have come across on flights where you just like there is.
Yeah,
You'd
like-
rather just like sleep.
Yeah.
I'll
Yeah.
wait a few hours. Like, get something at the airport. There'll be a
Yeah,
pub there.
some international flights you can get like Vosssteiner lager on Pilsner on Lufthansa, but and there's other ones. Some of the Kiwi airlines will have like Australian beers, but there's nothing like a 7% alcohol beer on a plane like that. I'm getting hot right now, take this talking about it, and so from that, I mean, it was kind of cool because when we started it, people were like twittering the photos up there, and just it was just. I haven't flown actually at all. It's been going for like a week and a half now, and I thought that I was going to jump on a plane and go to Seattle just from San Francisco just to
He
do
almost
it.
didn't come here today and jumped on a
Just-
plane to Seattle.
Just to go there like 6 o'clock in the morning. Goes like, can I have IP? Actually, what I really want to do, get on a plane and I want to buy beer for the whole plane.
There you go.
That's
Nice.
what's
That would
going to
be
happen.
amazing.
That's my goal.
All right. Well,
So-
if you're out on the West Coast,
Yeah.
grab your flights now and take the
Follow
chance.
Shaun O'Sullivan on Twitter, and then when he tells you that he's going to be on a Virgin flight, buy a ticket on that flight, spend your $70, and I'll buy you an $8 beer.
sounds like a steal.
So, speaking with these cans, like what got you into actually choosing to do the cans? Were you bottling at one point and switched over?
No, what happened is about 4 years ago, I was out in Colorado for the Great American Beer Festival. And I went out to Lyons, Colorado, and I saw what Oscar Blues was doing.
Yeah.
And I said it earlier, I kind of drank the Kool-Aid and saw that this is the future of craft beer. I mean, it's so perfect for the craft beer drinker. You've got like the portability option that you don't have with glass. You've got the recyclability, the green angle, it's great. It made sense to me in a lot of ways. So we decided to pursue that. It was unpopular at first, honestly. Some parts of the country were like, other ones were like, hey. And so we, kind of ran with it, and and it's great because it becomes like a point of like discussion. You almost sometimes in some places you don't even talk about the liquid or the beer. You just talk about the can.
Yeah.
And people are all freaked out about it. They're like, oh my God. And but the thing about it is that your first beer probably, was probably bad maybe. Maybe not you guys, but for me. And it.
No, we were there. We were there.
My wheelchair is stuck right now. No. And it probably, came. It may have come in a can. And so people always say that bad beer is bad beer, canned beer is a package. So it's really, it's perfect. It's like the whole twist off with wine. You don't have. There's a lot of great wines out there that are twist off. They don't come with corks on them, and it's actually better for the wine than a cork would be. So you've got, those things that are playing into it, and people are much more accepting of the whole concept and idea.
So we've got a brewer and wine enthusiast here, so we'll cover all the angles.
Yeah, I'm talking about airplanes. I'm talking about Twitter. Throw something else at me. Let's talk about Moulin Rouge. We'll talk about what else you got over there.
No, we're big fans of the can, and we love seeing new craft beers in cans, and it's just great.
Well, I really think that you're going to see more and more breweries doing. I had a discussion with Ken Grossman, the owner of Sierra Nevada. Look,
Shut up!
Name drop, and this is at this event in Washington D.C. I went to his brother, and I was like literally standing there talking to them, and they're, you guys, why don't you in cans? Why don't you in cans? And it was. And they kind of sat there and we thought about it. They were like, yeah, we thought about it. We're thinking about it. But, it's hard for big breweries like that to do it because you put so much money into bottling your beer and labeling it. And you have there's a lot of capital and expense involved. So to pull a canning line in, it's just intense. It's just costs a lot of money. A lot of resources are devoted to it. I mean, New Belgium's doing it now with Fat Tire and their wheat beer. And they just buy a little small canning line and they're already selling it really well, so they're looking at buying a new one, I hear. So
it's a lot easier for a new brewery to start canning. Just go with cans right away.
Well, the thing about it, and kind of the reason why we got into it first, where we bought a little 2-head filler, and we were doing it at the brewery in San Francisco, which is only like 12 barrels. It's 370 gallons a batch. So we were literally doing this 2-head filler to see if anybody would like the idea of cans. So we kicked out like 17 cases an hour, which is nothing. And the thing about it is that why most breweries don't get involved in it is because it costs, because there weren't small canning lines available to the small craft brewer. And the other big obstacle to market was that the minimums for cans were like huge. They were like, 1 million. You had to buy 1 million cans. Now, when you want to bottle your beer, you buy the bottles and you buy labels and you just slap them on. I mean, you can stop and start. You don't really have to. But when you buy and print cans, you own those cans for a long time.
Right.
So that was a huge obstacle to that. So there's actually a company out of Calgary, Canada called Cask Brewing Systems, and they develop these small little canning lines. It's 2-head line. They have a 5-head line. And we actually bought the 5-head line, and then we decided we didn't want to do that, and we looked at other options, and that's why larger production breweries that we could go and take our resources and our materials and our technology and go out there and brew with them. That's what we did. So.
Yeah, and it makes sense because you've only got the 2 that are available in the cans.
Yeah.
But if you go out to that brew pub, you guys have a lot available. Yeah. Other than just it's not just limited to what you have in the cans. People should know that. You go out and visit the place. You've got a lot of stuff.
Yeah, we also at the brewery we have 6 to 8 different beers on draft at any one time. And then we are also doing larger production runs of draft only series. We had a beer called Back in Black that's out in the country right now, which is a dark IPA, which is kind of a new style that's sort of developing. And then we've got this new beer that we're trying right now. Right. And actually, tomorrow, 2 days, we're brewing a new beer called Golden Doom, which is a Belgian strong golden ale. So we're going to be brewing that as well. But this beer here is kind of like the one that you kind of thank you.
It's kind of amazing.
Yeah. It actually is kind of no.
This is the newest beer that's going to be in the cans. And
yeah. This is Monk's Blood, which is a dark Belgian strong beer that will be available in 4-packs and draft starting I think next week. So
you had the big release was last night.
Yeah, we had a big dinner with a good friend of mine, Sean Paxton, who's the homebrew chef. He does a lot of these phenomenal dinners.
Follow him on Twitter too.
Yeah, he's a good Twitter dude. Yeah. You can follow him at like 4 o'clock in the morning, making like chocolate bars or with barley malt on top of it. It's like, dude, you got a kid, go to sleep. So.
Yeah, but talk a little bit about the beer, because it's actually pretty complex, unique, delicious, and there's a lot of things that are involved in this.
Well, real quickly, the background on this beer is that we brewed this for Strong Beer Month in February. We do this event every year with a local brewery in San Francisco, Magnolia Pub and Brewery, and we each put 6 beers. We've been doing it for the last 7 years. We each have 6 beers on that are all over 8.5% at both locations, a total of 12. And you get like a little card, and you kind of go to both places, and it's all in the honor system. You get the card clicked off, and you get to keep the special glass, like the world's most expensive glass you'll ever buy. You have these like $8 beers or whatever. So we decided, we brewed this Monk's Blood for this past year, and it was a collaboration effort with Sean Paxton, the homebrew chef, and it was just a huge hit. It was very different than it is kind of now in a lot of ways. Paxton does everything in a very complex way. He never does anything one way. You go to his house for dinner, you won't have salt on the table. You'll have like salt 12 ways or polenta 8 ways. So in the original beer, he put like 5 different types of sugar in: palm sugar, date sugar, table sugar. I mean, it was just like this crazy sugars. That wasn't a very good joke. And so he really kind of geeks out on it. So we couldn't commercially recreate that beer. It would have been like the world's most expensive beer in the world. So we took this beer, and then we actually, Nico and I and Shaun, we all went to Belgium. We went to Destroy's Brewery out in West Flanders there, the west coast of, by West Vleteren and all that out there, in Low, Belgium, small little town. And Urbane, who's the owner of the company, and Carlo. And we kind of wanted to tweak the beer and brew it with them, so we actually brewed a batch with them out there and tried it out and see what, sort of get inspiration. We also toured around to a bunch of breweries when we were out there. We went to De Dole, we went to West Vleteren, we went to all these cool little breweries, farmhouse breweries out there. And then we took the recipe back and rebrewed it in San Francisco this past summer, and then we eventually tweaked it a little bit further, and we brewed it at the production facility that we use in Minnesota, and that's where we brewed this batch, and that's where we canned it. So it's kind of like been tweaked the whole way.
Gotcha.
And so right now, this is the malt bill is fairly similar. It's pale malt, it's Pilsner malt, it's got Cara Vienna, it's got Cara Munich in it, it's got some chocolate, it's got some dextrose, it's got 1,000 pounds of Belgian candy sugar in it, which is kind of crazy. It's got a bunch of dried mission figs in it, vanilla beans, cinnamon in the mash. We brewed this beer at this place called Cold Spring Brewery in Minnesota. It's a small. Now what happened is that Nico and I didn't have any money to buy a big canning facility, so we went out and looked for breweries that we could do this on. And it's actually kind of a green way of doing it. You're not. There's no capital involved. Not a lot of capital involved in building it and all that, like you have with most breweries. In fact, Dan Piquette from Pretty Things Brewery have you ever heard of those guys out in?
We just had
just drank some of their stuff.
Awesome, great beer.
Yeah,
so he brews his beer at another location. He calls it lease brewing or gypsy brewing. It's not contract brewing like you knew. It's like you're actually hands-on. You're bringing your materials. It's like if I go to your house and I cook lasagna on your system and bring all the materials and put them in your pots and pans. So it's kind of a different way, and it's a great way to kind of get into the market when you don't have that money. Anyway, long story there. So that's why we're in the Midwest, and that's why we're brewing it. And what happened was that I shipped out this little $80 Target like food processor, and was going to chop up these figs and actually my business partner Nico's wife, who's a doctor, whose boss owns all these figs trees and all this. So they packed them up, shipped them out. So I'm out on this food processor trying to like grind them up, and the thing seizes on me within the first 20 minutes. I mean, literally, like, what the fuck am I doing here? So I run across the street to the only hardware store in Cold Spring, one hardware store, and get all these cutting boards and these cheap knives and all this. They were great. They were fabulous. In fact, the girl that worked there was going to run across her home and go like, I'll bring you the knives and all that crap. So grabbed a couple guys from the brewery and walked in, and we sat there and hand chopped these figs up, and then put them in these big sacks, and then threw them in this fermenter, and then put the oak in there as well.
The only time Sully's ever done any hands-on work.
Oh snaps, Sarah!
Oh snaps! Oh snaps!
No, you didn't.
Very unique and complex, very drinkable, even for what's this coming? 8.3.
Yeah. 8.3. Yeah.
It's got a nice sweetness, but it also kind of washes out very dry too. So it's very, very delicious stuff, and we're very excited to drink it. So
it's the only This is it. This is the Chicago.
But this is the only Monk's Blood in Chicago.
Chicago's distribution ends here, so hurry up.
Yeah.
Twitter friends are gonna be lining up.
Yeah.
Where are they? We're super excited. We want to. I mean, we definitely. The plan is to come to Chicago to the Illinois market soon.
Great holiday beer.
Yeah, you want to be
Thanksgiving
next Thanksgiving turkey by the fire, reading a book.
Absolutely. This is going perfect. So
You got it.
if you can get your hands on it, bring it to your little family gatherings there. It's gonna, Grandma's gonna love it.
Grandma, that'd be great. I want to see that shot.
Monk's
Put it in her
Blood.
coffee. Put it in her coffee.
I had one guy actually.
Monk's blood. That doesn't seem nice.
I had one guy on Twitter actually say, he said, I like the description, but I hate the name.
I thought it was great.
I loved it when I
love
heard
it.
that. When I heard that, I said, yes.
That's the back of the shirt.
Yeah, I hate the name. IPAs are not supposed to be dark. I hate the name.
That's perfect. I want to thank you for coming.
Yeah.
This has been fantastic. So check out 21st Amendment if you can get your hands on it. If not, then look for trades, and also just keep an eye out. We might be peeking into the Chicago market here, or wherever you happen to may be.
Yeah, we're like actually in every other market around you guys. It's
Yeah.
almost like we're circling the wagons right now.
Just like everybody else.
Slowly
Yeah,
coming
exactly.
in.
Well, we gotta go out of state to get Surly. We gotta
Yep.
go out of state to get
Stone,
Stone.
and New Glarus, and all that.
Yeah.
So
Gotta earn it, Chicago.
I know,
Yeah.
I know.
We're working
Put the
for it.
miles on.
Yeah.
You send a mule down and come back with a truckload.
But thanks a lot, and thanks everyone for watching.
All right, cheers.
Cheers.